Hello, lovely humans. I had a really lovely conversation with somebody just kind of about professional development, career planning, their experience, their journey, things they've learned, some of my angsty worries or things I'm trying to figure out. And this is just me coming on here to be really grateful about all the amazing people in my life that have come through to help me, and often unprompted, just, hey, I know you're interested in this thing, or it seems like you're interested in this thing, do you want to chat? I'm here if you ever need, what? I have so many moments where I'm like, what did I do to deserve this? What did I just do to deserve this kindness? And yeah, I'm sure I can point to a bunch of privilege points as to why, but I feel like it also just underscores my personal belief that there's a lot of really great people out there who want to help other people. And I just feel really lucky that I've been the recipient of a lot of that kindness. And I'm such, the universe constantly reminds me, or that, when you put something out into the world, I don't know if I'm making a difference. You will get an answer if you look for it. Just the other day, I was talking to a friend about volunteer work that I do, and I was like, I don't really know. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, maybe I made an impact. Sometimes I'm like, I have no idea what I did to help this kid's journey. And then I had a really lovely moment, 5 hours after sending that text, that made me think, oh, gosh, even though it's this little thing, I feel like I did make an impact, and that was my answer right there, and that's all what it's all about. So anyway, I think when you put out, even if you don't know exactly what you're looking for, but you put out the question, and then you stay present and aware and looking and searching, the answers come. And as someone who often gets very anxious about not knowing all the answers or not having all my next steps planned out, that is really comforting. And I've talked to a lot of people at different stages of their life, and a lot of them who might be 10, 20, 30, 40 years my senior still don't know what they're doing. They're still figuring it out, and that both surprises me but also comforts me each time I hear that. So this is all a preface. I haven't even gotten into what I wanted to talk about. Some of the takeaways of the conversation I just had that really, I don't know, just kind of provided a bit of a shift in perspective. The first thing was that instead of reflecting, so the way I kind of started my career planning as a person was very much year by year, what degree am I doing? What courses am I taking? What volunteering am I doing? What am I investing in, saving for? What are my specific goals year by year, 10, 15 years out? And I think I quickly realized that although it's nice to have this is kind of the general trajectory perhaps, and the sort of milestones to get there, when you go into that detail, inevitably things do not pan out on that same timeline, and then you feel like you just wasted all this time, detailing it out. Or because something happened in 3 years instead of 2, you're like, oh, okay, well, I guess I failed. And also, it just feels like then you are completely premeditating the steps to your life so that there's no room for surprise or room for changing course, because we gather new information every day, and that inevitably is going to change our minds. And so I think I want to encourage myself to, instead of thinking about what are my next 20 steps, or like feeling like I need to know where I want to be in 2, 5, 10, and like end of my career years. What is just my next step? Like what am I working actively towards now? And so for me, that's trying to do the best that I can in my current role to gain new skills and contribute to my organization and feel accomplished, to work on personal skills and interpersonal skills that will help me wherever I go, like boundary setting and clear communication and working on a team. And while I'm gathering information and perspectives on what leadership and people management and different career paths look like for other people in my organization and perhaps elsewhere, to keep gathering new insights on where my path could branch off. Because I think I have learned that I like to feel like my world is wide open. And when I start feeling like, oh, I guess this is the path I have to do now, it can feel forced. It can be, I don't know, I think it activates a bit of a rebellion. And also I think I've realized that I've been hearing certain narratives of what leadership and success and being successful and what it takes to be successful looks like. And some of those stories don't align with who I want to be as a person. And so this conversation today was really hopeful in encouraging me to just, I guess, remember my own power of choice. I can choose to be the kind of person, the kind of leader, the kind of worker and employee that I want to be. And that often will probably mean setting boundaries and appearing difficult. But you can set boundaries with kindness, and clarity is a kindness, and you don't need to be a dick to get ahead. That's just one way of doing it. And if setting those boundaries and stating your clear kindnesses, if that's not accepted where you are, then that will direct where you land, right? That might mean you need to leave. And yeah, I think people often don't leave jobs, they leave their environment, they leave managers, they leave the team. And so, yeah, I think it gave me a lot to think about. And also, something else that kind of came up was just this phrase of, what can I experience? So maybe it's not thinking of, I want to be this role, and then the senior of this role, and then the associate director of this role, and then the director of this, like, on this path. Maybe it's less about the role hopping, or like that climbing the ladder, so to speak, and maybe it's more about, what are the experiences I want to have? And I like that. And I think it takes some of the pressure off, and it's more aligned with how I think about my career now these days. Like, when you're young, it often feels like, I don't know, at least for me, it was sort of, yeah, okay, I'm just going to want to climb the ladder and like go to the top. And that's what success looks like. And now I'm like, I don't think if I don't ever become a VP of something, I think I will be okay. It's really more about, what do I want to experience and what will allow me to like live a happy and healthy, fulfilled life. And so, yeah, what do I want to experience? I want to keep learning, and so I'm doing my master's. I want to keep meeting new, interesting people who want to do good, and so I think I want to continue to fundraise and interact with donors and be a part of exciting, transformative projects that actually make an impact on students in the community. And eventually, I think I would like to be exposed to more different kinds of teams, different kinds of leaders, different kinds of units. I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I know that I want to continue to have new experiences. And maybe those new experiences will come from staying in the same place, and maybe it won't. Maybe it'll require movement. But yeah, and I guess the other thing was just taking pressure off yourself, in the sense that we go through seasons of life and different phases of work, and you're not always going to be working at full throttle. And if you are, eventually you will burn out. And so choosing to always be on call, always be fulfilling requests and tasks ASAP is a choice that you're making, and that will likely come at some kind of sacrifice to your health, to your personal life, whatever that may be. And so I think it's helpful for me, because sometimes I often think about like success from like a day-to-day perspective, and if I didn't feel like I accomplished everything on my to-do list that day or that week, I feel like a failure, and I get down on myself. And I think you just have to put it all into context and allow yourself to have ebbs and flows. But yeah, I don't know. All this to say, like, I think the biggest takeaway today, and what I wanted to just capture, was this, I don't know, this little seed of hope of, right now especially, and I mean, I think this is a constant journey of like, you're constantly in life wading through the unknown, especially in this environment we live in where there's constant fast-paced change. We think we know where we're going, and then the script changes and we're adapting and pivoting. And it's okay to not know what your next 10 steps are. But yeah, having some direction, and at least working towards that one next step or two next steps, that is a good place to start. And yeah, you might not know where the path is going to end. Like, I don't know where I'm going to end up. I don't have all the answers to things right now, but I'm at least taking action towards figuring it out. And that action looks like a lot of reflection. That action looks like a lot of kind of informational interviews with people to hear about their journeys and just get alternate perspectives. And it looks like just keeping on doing the work as a professional and as a human being. So yeah, I don't know. That's it. I say that's it, but it's been 13 minutes of me rambling. But I don't know. I don't know everything and what I'm doing and where I'm going. But I feel hopeful in that I will always keep trying to move in a direction. I think that's all I can ask of myself. And I feel very lucky that when I reach out, people answer the call, and that I am surrounded by a lot of people who are willing to offer guidance and just encourage me and support me. And yeah, I think that's something I really wish to do for others and to continue to do, and it's been a driver of my volunteering as well. Like, I think everyone deserves to feel seen, to feel like potential is seen in them, that they're worth investing in, that maybe they didn't have a lot of encouragement growing up, or they lack some self-confidence, but to have someone look at you and say, hey, like, you'll figure it out. You have all the tools. You're going to be fine. That makes such a difference, and you never know when someone really needed to hear that. And for me, that was today. So, yeah, it's just a little thank you to the universe, a little moment of gratitude for where I'm at in my life, that although I often feel like I'm treading through the scary unknown, I feel really held by the universe and by the people around me, and very lucky. And yeah, it's all going to be okay. So wherever you are, I hope you know it will all be okay. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep taking a step in a direction. And that direction might change. And that's okay. It's just, what's your next step? So, all right, folks. See you in the next one. And wherever you are, sending light and love and good energy.